A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. I'm Ritvika Gupta and you're watching our weekend edition Super Achievers Making New India. Tonight we are in conversation with two super achievers who are making a mark in their respective domains. In the first segment, we're in conversation with Unnath Reddy, Visionary-in-Chief and Managing Director, Fracspace. And in the second segment, we'll be joined by Sameer Agarwal, Founder and CEO of Refin. Now, Fracspace is a fractional investment and ownership real estate firm that enables a unique investment experience through the channel of fractional investment and ownership in a wide range of private real estate ventures. My colleague Pooja Jain caught up with Unnath Reddy, Visionary-in-Chief and Managing Director of Fracspace, delving into the company's journey, the variety of fractional investment opportunities in the global real estate market, and much more.
Dream of owning a piece of paradise, but the price tag feels like a one-way ticket to reality check? Well, buckle up, because Fracspace is here to rewrite the rules. The Hyderabad-based company lets you snag a slice of high-end properties, from beachside villas to swanky city apartments that fit your wallet. At the helm of this game-changing platform is Unnath Reddy, the Visionary-in-Chief and Managing Director at Fracspace. His mission is to make owning real estate accessible through co-ownership. He understands the yearning to own a home, the thrill of diversifying one's portfolio, and the importance of doing it all without breaking the bank. Fracspace is ushering in a new era, a real estate ownership with a focus on affordability, accessibility, and tech-powered convenience.
Unnath, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. And for sake of some context setting for our viewers, Fracspace today has been considered the gateway to fractional or partial ownership within the real estate arena. So walk us through the company's journey to date. What do you consider to be some of the most major milestones along this journey?
Firstly, thanks, Pooja, for having me here. And it's been an exhilarating and transformative journey for us. We've been in business for about 18 months now. And initially, it was difficult. I mean, I have to be honest. It was a challenge to educate people about what fractional ownership is.
I'm sure.
Because we live in a conservative society and everyone prefers to, prefers full ownership as compared to, co-ownership. So it took us a while, but ever since inception until now, the last 18 months has been a fantastic journey to us, in fact.
Well, look, how was the idea even originally conceptualized, right? Because you did take a plunge in many ways. You're going against the grain. So what even brought this in?
So to be honest with you, every child's dream is to buy real estate.
Right.
Right. You've grown up with that mindset. Your parents have had it, your grandparents have had it. When you want to buy real estate, especially in today's market, it's expensive. Not everybody can afford it.
Absolutely.
So we want to create something which is affordable, and we want to understand what do people buy real estate for. Many people buy land, apartments, villas. Well, the primary focus, if it's a primary home, then you have no other options. But if it's a secondary home, you do have multiple options. So instead of buying one full unit, you can diversify your investment by co-ownerships, through co-ownership, sorry.
Right.
And so imagine so let's say you have a 50 lakh budget. So instead of buying one piece of land, you can, diversify your portfolio by investing in, Goa, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and different parts with, minimal investments. And you co-own that, you reap the same benefits of owning a full home.
Let's do a bit of a deep dive there. Walk us through how co-ownership is even structured, at a financial level. How is the investment put together? And what sort of properties are eligible for this co-ownership?
Right.
You mentioned holiday homes, but does this extend to include, for example, commercial developments, high-end luxury properties? Tell us more.
So when it comes to fractional ownership, it's primarily for assets which are revenue generating. So if you have assets which are revenue generating, then they're eligible for fractional ownership. Primarily, see, this is not new. This is something that, a group of friends or family members, they've been doing this for donkeys years. Only thing is, with new fractional ownership companies coming in today, we're just trying to create an organized, structured platform for, fractional ownership.
Well, Unnath, walk us through how the investor who's at the center of this whole equation, how he or her stands to benefit, right? Of course, there's rental rights, right? Rental earnings, asset appreciation. Tell us more about how they ultimately walk away with a greater slice of the pie.
So, many fractional ownership companies had their own formats of working. But when it comes to Fracspace, we primarily have 4 major benefits. So, from the time they co-own, even if it's an under construction property, they have some sort of earning rights here. So, even if it's a probable bank rate of interest, that's something that we earn.
Sure.
So, from possession, the property is managed by us completely. It's all in the house. So all the rental yields are equally distributed between its fractional others. And our biggest USP is that there's no lock-in period. So which is a big challenge otherwise if you buy a full property, right? But with us, since it's a small ticket size, since it's a fractional ownership, right? You can exit anytime. The day you place your request to exit, you have like a 60-day window where it's easier for us to sell. And another major part is we don't hold on to a property for more than 5 years.
Got it.
Because then the asset value starts to appreciate.
Right. Yeah, interesting. It's fascinating, in fact. And how would you quantify and classify Fracspace's current footprint, both in the domestic market and well beyond?
Well, I think we've done a tremendous job in terms of identifying various properties. There are a couple of parameters that we look at, especially in terms of tourism, in terms of, the type of property.
Sure.
So these parameters are basically helped us identify certain properties and in terms of what kind of revenues that these can generate. And that's what's come on. So we're a very limited portfolio. We don't have more than like 6 to 7, developments in our portfolio currently. But we've handpicked these, right?
So this portfolio that you're referencing, right? To what lengths at Fracspace do you go about diversifying the portfolio to ensure that includes properties ranging from, say, high-end luxury homes to commercial development, so on and so forth? Because I think ultimately that investor sees diversification as a huge, protection strategy when it comes to his or her capital.
That's true. So we've had a lot of inquiries when it comes to commercial properties as well. But as of now, the highest rental generating streams or avenues is holiday homes as compared to commercial properties as well. So currently we're in the holiday home market only, secondary home market. But eventually we're looking at, commercial properties as well.
Well, look, what's very interesting is how perhaps reselling may work in a fractional ownership model, right? And how do you connect the dots between the buyer and the seller within the Fracspace community to make that happen?
So each of our properties have limited co-owners, right? And we don't have a big inventory in each location. So let's pick Goa. We probably have about, a couple of apartments and we have a villa, right, for example.
Right.
And there's always a demand for places like Goa.
Of course.
For example. So in case we're outsold with, a couple of units there, we don't go out to buy on more properties in Goa itself. We're also scouting for other locations like, where tourism is high.
Sure.
So when there is a need or when there is a buyer looking to, there is like a waitlisted option. So when people are waitlisted for Goa, if anyone's looking to resell their, fraction, that's when we go back into the market it's easier for us to sell.
So Unnath, I know that Fracspace harbors the vision of making real estate more affordable and more accessible to investors across that broad spectrum, while elevating their standard of living in the process, right? What's next on the horizon for this company?
So 2024 has a lot in store for us. Quite frankly, we've done a lot of collaboration this last year with a couple of architectural firms overseas, and we're trying to make some change here in India. We want to make home buying affordable, and we will stick to it, even primary homes. So that's on our, that's one of our milestones for 2024.
Sure. And what are the challenges that are perhaps unique and specific to the Indian market that you've encountered, given that the real estate arena here differs in many facets from our global counterparts abroad?
So ultimately, until a month ago, I would say precisely, we did have some challenges in terms of the legalities. We've always wanted like a backbone. So I'm very happy that SEBI's come to play now. So SEBI's launched SNREITs, and I think that's going to give us a big boost.
Phenomenal. And look, a company as young as yours and as lean as yours is completely fueled by a team energy and a team spirit, right? So if we were to speak to a member of your team, how might they describe your management style and your leadership philosophy?
I think the better response to that would be ask them. But I am totally driven by my team. They're young, they're full of energy, and they're like, let's go get this done types.
Phenomenal. So Unnath, I'm stating the obvious here, but the real estate market is cluttered with competition. Right? What's the key to standing out and truly making a mark for yourself in this space?
I think we're in a generation now where everybody wants something different, something unique. So concepts is your key. So if you have a new concept, you have a buyer.
And for our viewers that may be considering, tiptoeing into this industry or finding their footing, so to speak, what words of advice might you have for them?
Well, the only thing I would say is, like anyone else, everyone else says, you will encounter a lot of ups and downs, but keep your head strong, keep walking, and keep working hard.
Words to live by. Unnath, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. We wish you and the larger Fracspace team all the continued success.
Thank you, Pooja.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.